Welcome to Game 5 of the C League match playing between Earl and Personman. Earl's up 3-1, so if Earl wins this game, then they clinch a victory in the match and will be
Match
in
point.
C Division next season. Personman back against the wall, got to play their best and try to find a win here. What do you think, KHC?
I mean, Earl's definitely playing better.
Yeah, I felt like the person who had the better strategy won all of the games so far, which is good. There hasn't been like a significant luck factor. And I know from your games and from my games, normally whenever I lose a game, it's because I got unlucky.
It's always luck, obviously.
Yeah. And whenever I win a game and there was no luck involved, it was just pure skill. But
You know, I controlled all the shuffles.
Yeah.
This board is a bit depressing. We've had some really interesting boards so far in this match, and this is not inspiring me.
Yeah.
It's not simple money, but it's money of some sort. We've got Chariot Race in there it's the only alt VP aside from Wedding. There's Son of Anto. I'm not sure if that's going to be relevant, but it could be. It's a pretty weak board.
Yeah. Again, I want one sauna here to trash my estates. And Moneylender to trash my coppers, then you can have a deck of inns and embassies and golds and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Royal Blacksmith should work well in that deck as well.
Yeah, I'm actually with Kaplan. I think I might want to go for a pretty sauna-heavy deck here. Way they're at reduces the opportunity cost of them, and you can still get the trashing effect of silver. A big ol' engine. I mean, you get enough saunas, you can add in some herbalists for plus buy.
Yeah, I mean, inn is enough of a village and embassy, and I mean, Royal Blacksmith plus 5 cards, so
yeah,
that counteracts the annoying part about inn.
Get an RBS and Radit. That is a good point. Radit's so good with strange cost cards.
Yeah, the problem I think with going the Son of Anto again with the last kingdom is if you're also playing with inn and Royal Blacksmith and Bandit and Herbalist, it's just hard to line up the Son of Anto for the value. But and the weird kingdom where Herbalist is the plus buy, but you're probably going to get it. There doesn't seem like any good way to protect yourself for Chariot Race, but within you can, discard your 2 golds and then play 2 Chariot Races at the end to draw them up and have a decent chance of getting hits. As Complaint says, if you are playing money and you're not thinning out all your coppers and estates, then the Chariot Race deck can just score a huge amount of VP on you. And within and Embassy, they can make sure that they have really high priced cards on top. I don't think
race looks quite important here. Although maybe if they both mirror, it's not.
Yeah, if you're both playing a similar kind of engine, probably the race, you're not winning that many races, but if you get a little bit better deck control, then your races can do more. It looks like Personman is going for the sauna stuff, and Earl, we'll see if Earl gets another sauna here, if they're just going for the one sauna to trash their estates. This does not seem like a kingdom where you just let your opponent take all the saunas and then you split the Avantos and feel happy about it.
I think that sounds reasonable.
Because there's Embassy and Royal Blacksmith, it's not like you need that. But sometimes it's fun to just let your opponent take all the saunas and then you win the Avanto split 4-1, use inn as your village.
Yeah.
And then your opponent doesn't realize that they wasted 5 turns buying saunas. And this is slightly awkward for Earl. Their hand size is decreasing. They can either play the Moneylender or trash an estate. They can't do both. Looks like they decided to trash the copper. Are we already near the Royal Blacksmith territory? Maybe there's a little bit more.
What's the
more
best money thing here? I would imagine if we're talking like simple money stuff, it is something revolving around embassy.
Wedding is slightly nice for the money deck.
Mm-hmm.
But it does seem at this point that Earl needs ways to increase their hand size.
Yeah, villain actually hurts a lot here. When your villages and draw cards both make you discard.
Yeah. Hence my thought of using the card that says plus 5 cards. But maybe you need to trash 2 or 3 more coppers before that's reliable. And certainly Avantos will be useful given they're both going to have a couple saunas. So here I would consider, well, no, they can't both trash an estate and wrap sauna, which is unfortunate. But they did draw a copper, silver, which was nice. Lets them buy the last sauna, probably. We'll see if that's what they go for. I don't think that. Yeah, I'm wondering if they're thinking about the cost of revealing the Avantos, or if they're thinking about a chariot race or an herbalist or something.
They go for a race.
Yeah, interesting. I'm not quite sure how to analyze that. This again is like a quite sad. I guess they can quite sad turn. They need to be able to increase.
Why do you toss here?
Yeah, I mean, I think they do now need to buy that Royal Blacksmith pretty desperately. And the fact that their moneylender won't be good anymore is fine. You've got a sauna to draw those coppers back up to trash them, and every one of these turns for both of them have been really sad.
And they go for the last sauna instead. Interesting. Well, that does cost Personman the last sauna.
Yeah, that villain actually worked here, compared to the Cathedral game where the villain didn't seem to work very well. This game, it seems to have done a bit of work. They still have they have the sauna, they have the silver. They're just never able to draw them together because they're always discarding the estates. But they are able to get the Avanto here, which is nice. And this seems like the easiest buy of the game so far. And now Personman has to hope that they can find their own 5, which I think they can with a moneylender. This is tough. I don't know what you discard here. You have silver. You have possibly another silver down there and a moneylender. So they were able to find the silver. If they drew another copper with that chariot race, they would have been very, very sad. And hopefully Earl, unfortunately, not able to find the Avanto this turn, but they are able to trash 2 estates and get a little bit of an attack.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
So now I'm wondering, is now the time to get a bandit for Personman? Maybe they just get the herbalist now, because their deck is about to be very thin and not have any money in it. It's a moderately nice reveal. Earl knows that they can play Avanto or Sauna Avanto to start the turn. Yeah, what I was thinking about they're able to rat. That's nice. To get the rest of the pile. But what I'm thinking about is that they have no money left in their deck. They're going to have 5 money total, so I think this is probably the turn then for them to get the bandit. Why do they not?
Bandit seems good now.
Yeah, they can play this sauna to draw and trash the moneylender, I think. Oh, they discarded it. Because that was nicely done by Earl, able to get a bunch of Avantos there with the Way of the Rat. I like the way they played that turn. You hate to waste a whole buy on an Avanto, so it's nice to deny it to your opponent mostly. Because if there were like 4 Avantos left in the deck, they might have said, well, I don't need to worry about it. But since there's only 1, they felt like they needed to. Needed to. And now they'll be able to trash the moneylender. And I assume buy an herbalist. Is there something else you could buy here?
Herbalist sounds good.
Yeah.
You want herbalist so you can start adding races.
Yeah, and they're quite a bit ahead now, it looks like, for Earl. So complain, how many turns does how many chariot races do you buy? You know, you have 5 this turn in a chariot race, next turn you'll have 8 in a chariot race, then 11 in the chariot race. So are you buying 1 chariot race and then switching to herbalist next turn? You're ratting the chariot races. So if you get overdraw, which Earl has, you can just rat a whole bunch of chariot races in a turn.
No truffles. I have not seen Steph's herbalist Peace Stone game. What?
It does sound good. Hold on. King's Court, Scheme, Herbalist, Peastone. But you have to King's Court the Scheme, which draws too many cards. Yes, so probably Earl needs to be looking for opportunities to do some Way of the Rat shenanigans with cards like chariot races, villains, bandits.
Just get a dud. Yep.
I guess that was strictly knowable that it was going to happen. Probably should not have played that, knowing that those 3 cards were not saunas. We'll see how much Earl's able to turn up the heat this turn. Is there an order for Sauna Avanto? I think you just, in that situation, you can play either of them.
You want to start off with the one that you have more of?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Earl has 3 of each.
Doesn't seem to matter then.
Yeah. So now you can play the chariot race and hit a gold, which is nice, and was able to trash one of Personman's silvers, which is also nice, because Personman does not have as much payload as Earl does. Already goes for the province and the inn. Interesting. I guess Earl is saying their deck is so far ahead that they can just move towards the end game now. I'm slightly suspect of that. I think the Royal Blacksmith is super strong because you can get overdraw to start ratting things. I mean, you can always rat a Royal Blacksmith and the next turn rat an inn and just continue to build up your deck once you start greening. But it seems like, in my mind, Earl has plenty of time because Personman's a couple turns away from moving towards the greening phase. Although, as I say that, they immediately start to green. Commentator's Curse. I think
Earl wants to push their lead as much as they can. And it is possible that if you lay off the pressure a little bit, you can start falling behind. Not falling behind, but your lead can shrink.
Sure. So I assume they play the inn first, and then play the Avanta first, and the inn. Yeah, no more golds seems reasonable. Although they've built now to double province if they want, and more reliable deck. And one advantage to moving towards the green earlier is that your opponent realizes the score is out of reach earlier, and they resign.
Well, very well played.
Yeah, Earl definitely earned their spot. Very well played by Earl.
Really sharp that game. I mean, that set.
Yeah, I don't look forward to having to play them next season. But yeah, I think Earl took some really good lines and really good spots, and Personman took a little bit. I don't know. That one game I thought they played quite well. The one game they had the weird open, but overall,
some really interesting boards. Nothing that was too much of a slog or kind of monolithic.
Yep,
very
match,
interesting
less
boards.
than 2 hours, so
yeah,
I'll take that.
Hell yeah!
Thanks for joining me.
Well, thanks for commentating with me, and thanks for listening, everyone.
Goodbye.